Today, we are going to unravel the absolutely incredible history of Tripura. This is a story that starts deep in myth and legend, and somehow, against all odds, finds its way to becoming a modern Indian state. It's quite a ride. And that journey just makes you wonder, right? How does a kingdom, a place whose origins are tied to epic poetry, actually navigate centuries of change and survive in our modern world? It's a story of amazing resilience, smart adaptation, and a real fight for identity. So let's start at the very beginning, and I mean the very beginning, where Tripura's history isn't just something you read in a book, it's totally woven into mythology. Okay, so get this. The name Tripura is thought to come from a legendary king named Tripur, and he was supposedly a contemporary of Yudhishthira from the Mahabharata. This places Tripura's origins right in the heart of one of India's most important epics. That's a pretty epic lineage, you have to admit. Now, how do we know all this? Well, our main source for these early legends is the Rajmala, which were the royal chronicles of Tripura. These incredible texts claim the kingdom's rulers descended from the mythical lunar dynasty. What a powerful way to legitimize your rule and claim a divine right that would last for centuries. So we're moving from myth into documented history now, and into the era of the Manikya dynasty. This was a true golden age for the kingdom, and it would define its character for, well, about half a millennium. Starting way back around 1400, the dynasty really firmed up its power. By the 16th century, they were at their military peak, fighting off powerful sultanates. And their reign lasted all the way to 1949. Just let that sink in for a second. Over 500 years of continuous rule from a single family. That really speaks to some incredible stability and power in what was a very turbulent part of the world. But the Manikyas weren't just about military might. They were also huge patrons of culture. And in an era that was often all about conflict, this focus on art really showed a dynasty with a vision. A perfect example? The famous friendship between Maharaja Radha Kishore Manakya and the Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore. Tagore was so inspired by Tripura's history that he actually based some of his plays on it. Okay, now the story takes a bit of a complex turn with the arrival of the British. See, Tripura's relationship with the British Raj was pretty unique and quite different from what was happening in many other parts of India. To really get this, we need to understand what a princely state was. Basically, it was a territory that wasn't directly ruled by the British. Instead, a local Indian ruler stayed in power, but it was under a system of British oversight. So you could have the Maharaja deciding local laws, while a British resident was, let's say, advising him on foreign policy. And here's how that actually looked on the ground. The Maharajas of Tripura kept complete control over their internal affairs, their own laws, their administration, all of it. But the British managed all the external stuff, like defense and foreign relations. It was this incredibly delicate balancing act that allowed the kingdom to hold on to a precious bit of autonomy when so many others had lost theirs completely. Then the 20th century rolls around, and with it comes this monumental shift, the end of British rule and the dawn of an independent India. So how does an ancient kingdom like this one handle such a massive, world-changing event? Well, after the last king passed away in 1947, his wife, Maharani Kanchan Prabha Devi, took over as regent. Can you imagine the immense responsibility of guiding the kingdom into this brand new era? It was actually she who signed the official merger agreement on October 15, 1949. From there, it was a step-by-step process. Tripura became a union territory in 1956, and finally a full-fledged state in 1972, a really swift political transformation for a kingdom that was centuries old. So, what is modern Tripura? Its identity today is this fascinating mix shaped not only by its royal past, but also by these powerful currents of 20th century history. Migration played a huge role here. The state's whole demographic makeup changed dramatically after the partition of India in 1947, and then again during the Bangladesh Liberation War in 1971. Waves of people crossed the new borders, creating a completely new cultural landscape. And today, that landscape is an incredible mosaic. This number you see, 19, that represents the distinct indigenous tribes, like the Tripuri, the Riyang, and the Jamotia, who live side by side with a large Bengali community. That's not just a statistic, it's a living, breathing testament to the coexistence of so many cultures, languages, and traditions all in one state. And you can still see this rich, layered history for yourself today. Landmarks like the Grand Ujjayanta Palace, it used to be the royal residence, now it's a state museum, and the absolutely stunning Nir Mahawar Palace are these incredible living testaments to the vision of the Manikya kings and the endurance of their kingdom. Tripura's journey really shows us something profound. It shows that when history redraws the map, a culture's survival really depends on its ability to adapt, to blend, and to carry its unique legacy forward. It kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? What does it truly take for a culture to endure?